Chapter 758, Beigong Lan, Disciple of the Martial Honorable. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. The Death Zen sect has really given their all for an air seat, Gai Tanjiao said coldly. Aren't they scared about losing their 1,000 treasure cassock? The 1,000 treasure cassock is the robe of the Death Zen sect's elder, Zhuai said, chuckling. They're only giving it to Jialuoga for one night so he can compete for the air seat. As long as the Death Zen sect elder wants to, he can take it back. Who can compete with the Death Zen sect's elder other than Patriarch T of the Yin and Yang sect? Plus, with Patriarch T's status, he won't attack a junior just because of the 1,000 treasure cassock. If he succeeded, it would be great and the Yin and Yang sect would have another ultimate treasure. If not, wouldn't he and the Yin and Yang sect be completely humiliated? Gai Danjiao clenched her fists tightly. Fire seemed to spill from her eyes. He's indeed prepared. If I knew this, I would have done everything to stop them from attending the Sword Technique Conference. With her innate extreme Yang body, Gai Danjiao was confident in defeating everyone below the half-saint level if they didn't have outside help. The innate extreme Yang body represented the extremes of the same plane. It was known to be physically undefeatable. However, Jialuoga's power when he wore the 1,000 treasure cassock was beyond that of the fish dragon realm. Even Gai Tanjiao wouldn't be able to defeat him. Gai Tanjiao, Ouyang Huan, Zhu Yui, Kai Wan Sui. They all had fatal trump cards, but their levels were all quite close to each other. If Gai Tanjiao had no chance against Jialuoga, the others wouldn't either. At the moment, the ones in the air seats all kept silent. They started thinking about whether they should attack proactively or not. One must admit that Jialuoga's 1,000 treasure cassock was quite intimidating. In the scroll world, Jialuoga rushed towards the 9-turn blood dragon matrix with destructive force. He slammed his palm towards Feng Chengyu. Feng Chengyu waved his wand and instantly created 3 more matrices. Boom! Faced with Jialuoga's palm, the 3 matrices were penetrated instantly, as if they were 3 sheets of paper. Blood spurted out of Feng Chengyu's mouth and he flew off of Scroll Mountain. Fortunately, Feng Chengyu had protective charms that dissolved most of Jialuoga's power. Otherwise, he may have been turned into a puff of bloody mist. Amitabha. Jialuoga put his hands together in prayer. He bowed slightly towards the foot of Scroll Mountain and smiled benevolently. Then he continued climbing up. Donkey, come fight with your rat lord. Captain Rat charged over. He threw out a demonic claw and started battling with Jialuoga. But even Captain Rat could only take 17 of Jialuoga's attacks before a palm print hit his body, injuring him gravely. However, Captain Rat was physically strong. He immediately escaped from Scroll Mountain and avoided most of it. If he'd been a step behind, he may have been disabled. You run pretty fast, huh? Jialuoga sneered in disdain. Seeing this scene, Bukion Fan's expression hardened. Even Captain Rat could only block 17 hits. If I go against him, I'll definitely lose within 20 attacks, even if I use all my trump cards. Jialuoga's own power can't be much stronger than mine, but with the 1,000 treasure cassock, he's completely undefeatable below the half-saint level. The young monks who'd rallied for Jialuoga and the 3rd royal prince to attend the air banquet earlier were all dazed now. They regretted it so badly. Jialuoga alone had gravely injured 2 top fighters who qualified to compete for an air seat. He'd won easily, as if he hadn't used his full power. If he did use his full power, who could still be his match? From the other direction, the 3rd royal prince laughed loudly. It should end now. Boom. Boom. He attacked 5 consecutive times. Auxinian coughed out a mouthful of blood with each palm attack. At the 5th attack, Auxinian's delicate body flew back. With a blow to her head, she lost consciousness and fell heavily backward to the 73rd king seat. 3rd prince, you're too slow, Jialuoga said, chuckling. The 3rd royal prince walked out of the scroll world with his hands behind his back. He smiled. I don't like to go hard on beauties. After all, it's only fun if you play with them slowly. Then his eyes hardened. He sensed danger. Whoosh! Blue sword chi abruptly shot towards the point between the 3rd royal prince's brows. It was like a blue rainbow. The prince shot to the left, but his cheek was still scraped by the sword chi, leaving a bloody mark. He extended a finger and touched the blood. He licked it and his gaze turned even colder. He looked up with blood-red eyes. Beigong Lan stood up from the second king seat. She walked to the steps, holding her ancient blue sword. She looked beautiful and otherworldly. Beigong Lan from the Central Region Saint Academy. You're the first one who could get past my defenses and make me bleed. The third royal prince sneered and charged, an outstretched hand going for Beigong Lan's neck. Snick. His 5 fingers were shrouded in blood chi and a 3-foot-long nail grew out of each one. The nails had a metallic shine as if they were 5 sharp blades embedded in his hands. Beigong Lan kept calm before the danger. Seeming extremely composed, she brandished her ancient blue sword. Activating a sword technique, she cast dozens of sword chi consecutively, forcing the third royal prince back. Slash, slash, slash. 3 slashes appeared on the prince's body, the neck, wrist, and chest. These were places that weren't covered with armor. Beigong Lan put her sword away. She straightened her body, forming beautiful curves. Your abilities aren't much. What is there to be arrogant about? After seeing Beigong Lan force the third royal prince back again, all the monks were excited. Senior sister apprentice Beigong finally attacked. I'd like to see if that vampire and evil man from the Death Zen sect can still be so arrogant, a monk from the Central Region Saint Academy said excitedly. Beigong Lan is the Martial Honorable's disciple, and the top fighter of the Saint Academy. She cultivates the Qiankan martial secrets, which is one of the Kunlun Field's top 6 legendary books. She's already the young honorable of Martial Market Academy. The Martial Honorable's disciple is indeed powerful. With her skills, she can definitely get an heir seat. As expected from the pride of the Beigong family, she seemed to have just stabbed her sword casually, but the power it contained stole their breath. It was enough to overturn the world and force the third royal prince back. This is a true talent. Huang Yanjin's eyebrows suddenly arched. Sensing something, she glanced at Zhang Yuochen, who was healing himself. She realized that Zhang Yuochen's aura was abnormal. It seemed to be getting stronger. Wasn't he hurt? How could his aura become stronger? Now, all his meridians were completely opened. He'd reached a fully open state and his holy chi could flow smoothly. His cultivation had doubled. Zhang Yuochen reinforced his new cultivation plane while healing himself, enjoying the giddiness after breaking into a new level. He was completely excited now. Right now, everyone was focused on Beigong Lan and the third royal prince. Thus, other than Huang Yanjin, who cared about Zhang Yuochen, no one else noticed this change. The third royal prince leered. Staring hard at Beigong Lan, he said, I didn't expect for someone under the half-saint level to be as powerful as you. Your sword must be the blue cutthroat sword, 7th on the 100 pattern saint weapon list, correct? The 1000 pattern saint weapon list and 10,000 pattern saint weapon list were compiled by the Imperial Court. However, the 100 pattern saint weapon list was compiled by the Scroll sect. Instead of including all the 100 pattern saint weapons in the world, it only included 168 weapons. Each one on the list was like a war machine. Any one of them could release power equal to that of a 1000 pattern saint weapon. The higher the ranking, the more powerful it was. Beigong Lan's blue cutthroat sword was 7th in the 100 pattern saint weapon list. It was even more powerful than some 1000 pattern saint weapons. You think it's interesting to say meaningless things? Beigong Lan asked. Feisty. I like you. Since you're so powerful, I should use some of my true skills. The third royal prince opened his arms wide. Shreds of red blood chi instantly surged out of his blood armor, covering his body. There were countless shadows within the blood chi. Powerful auras radiated from each shadow. Chilling cries spread throughout the space, turning the sacred scroll mountain into the bloody hell of the demonic Asuras. No, Saint Lady's expression darkened. She recognized the third royal prince's blood armor and realized the situation was off. The prince's aura grew stronger and stronger. It soon reached a level that a fish dragon monk could only dream of achieving. He was even stronger than Jialuogu with his 1000 treasure cassock. Beigong Lan's pupils expanded in extreme shock. She immediately activated the Qiankan martial secret, filling the blue cutthroat sword with holy chi. Sword 2. Beigong Lan activated Sword 2's 4th plane. Her slender body became one with the blue cutthroat sword. She attacked first, transforming into a beam of blue light and shooting towards the cloud of blood chi. Inside the blood chi, the third royal prince was completely covered by the blood armor. He let out a battle cry and punched with destructive force. He sent Beigong Lan flying back. Boom! Beigong Lan's body crashed on Scroll Mountain's steps, shaking the entire mountain. Everyone's hearts trembled as well. Looking over, they only saw Beigong Lan's face, as white as paper. Her white robe was completely dyed red and blood streamed out from her lips. She was on her last breath.